Welcome back to part 2 of the build. I've not soldered these ICs in place. They're still quite loose like that. All I've done is just very gently just put them in place, just so I can see where they all go and make sure that the legs aren't bent. What I've done on each one of them, take that one out, I'll show you. So I've got my little tool here to straighten the legs. So what I'll do is I'll put that in there, press that together a couple of times, and that straightens the legs out. If the legs are out that way, then you just have to use a nail just to gently put it back into place. Also, what we need to remember as well is that on the board there's a little notch, little cutout just there, and that matches up with the little cutout on the IC as well. So if you see that on the IC, and match it up to what the circuit board looks like as well. So I just put that back in there. On the circuit board, all the ICs across the top are the same, and the ones at the bottom are slightly different. So you just have to look at the IC itself, and then you match it up with the numbers that are on the circuit board. So for example, that's 4040, that one's 4060, that one's 4518, and the number themselves is actually printed on top of the ICs. So what we'll do next, once we get double check to make sure all these are nice and flat against the board, we'll get all the legs soldered up. So what we need to do, we need to turn the circuit board over so we can solder the legs on the other side. Now, you could put bits of blue tack either side, but I find that just leaves a sticky mess next to the ICs, because as the blue tack heats up, it can leave a bit of a sticky residual. So what I've done is I've got my cloth, I folded it over, I'm just going to put it on the circuit board. Oops, there we go. Let's get these bits of, hold it down and flip it over, and there we go. We should be able to solder that in place now. So I'm just going to put my light in a position so I can see properly. Okay, so that's the first one done. Now there's quite a lot to do on this circuit board, so I'll quickly do another one, and then I'll pause the video while I solder the rest. Now I've just nearly finished soldering all the ICs up, but I've hit a slight problem. As you can see, just around here, we've got a bridge across two of the pins. So what I'm going to do, I've got my desoldering pump. This is the manual one, not the one that's I used the other day in the previous video, which was electric. So this is just a manual one. Well, I'll get that. There we go. Right, I'm just going to heat it up slightly, and then there we go. And that's just got rid of that. And all we need to do then is just resolder those pins. There we go. Right, so that's got all the ICs soldered into place. When you do this, it's best just to double check all the points. I just ran through it myself looking under the microscope, and there's a couple of joints that weren't quite soldered up, so it's worth having a look at those just to make sure that everything's in place. But that's all the IC soldered up. We've still got to sort out this resistor here. If you've seen part one of the videos, you would have noticed that the point where it solders onto the board is actually missing the pad. So I'm going to try and sort that out now. So what I'm going to do is just very gently just scrape. I'm not scraping the copper, I'm just scraping the cover, the actual, there we go, just to make it a bit shiny, so we can solder onto that pad. So just put a little dab of solder on there. Let's get our resistor. Try that again. There we go. So what I'm going to do first off is solder that far leg. And I'm going to bend that one down so it's in line to where we've just put that bit of solder. There, that's got that in place now, so if we have a look at that. Where are we? Let's get, here we go, that's better. So we can see that we've just bent it slightly down and we've soldered it onto the actual board where we scraped away a bit of the covering over the contact. So hopefully that should fix that little problem okay. Next job is to put the LEDs onto the circuit board. Now there's 21 LEDs per digit that we've got to do. There's 6 digits across the board, so 21 times 6 is 126 LEDs. There's 2 here, and then there's 2 here as well, a bit further on. So that makes 130 in total. So what I'll do is I'll do one for you, and then I'll stop the video while I do the rest. Now on the print itself, if we just zoom into there, if you can see that all right. So we've got on the here, we've got a triangle with a flat side and then a line. And if you look at the actual circle, it's not quite a circle, it's got a flat just there as well. And we know that the positive, which is up there, positive is the anode side of it, and then the negative is the cathode side. So when we put the LED, I'm going to make sure that the positive leg is on the flat side of the triangle. Now looking around the circuit board, the LEDs on the sides are all the same, and the LEDs going across are printed the same. So as long as you follow that pattern, you should be okay. On the LED itself, you've got 2 legs. One is longer than the other one, and the longer leg is the positive leg, and then the shorter one is the negative leg. Okay, so it will go in like this. Okay, so we'll go in like that, with the plus and the negative as shown on the picture. Yeah, just got that done. So the last thing we need to do is to put some power on. Right, I've just repositioned the circuit board so you can see the whole board now. And there it is with all the LEDs and the ICs soldered up. So the last thing we need to do is to put some power onto it. So I'm using a 12 volt 2 amp transformer. I'll just pop the cables on. I'm using the DC side. AC side is this side, DC is that side. Okay, so let's power up. And there we go. We can see that the time is flicking twice as fast. I have done some research on this, and other people have complained about the same thing, that the seconds do tick faster, although there's been no fix on Banggood site for this problem. So if you're making the kit up, just be aware of that. The time is going to be faster than normal.